Hello, you're watching VNA News and now headlines.
President Trương Tấn Sang meets with Vietnam's Lawyers Association. Ambassadors talk Vietnam-India relations. Nhật Lệ among top 10 most attractive beaches in Vietnam.
President Trương Tấn Sang has urged the Vietnam Lawyers Association to uphold its role as socio-political and occupational organization that gathers legal experts across the country and actively participate in lawmaking. President Sang, who is also head of the Central Steering Committee on Judicial Reform, pledged to facilitate the association's stronger participation in the judicial reform and working session with a delegation of the association in Hanoi on April 14th. The state leader said the association has strived to improve the quality of legal support to groups, corporations and businesses as Vietnam accelerates negotiations to join the world's major economic agreements. 6 decades after its foundation, the association's membership has grown to more than 46,000 from the initial 40. The association has provided legal consultations and assistance and participated in the settlement of complaints and reconciliations at the grassroots level through its legal offices. Vietnamese ambassador to India Ton Sinh Thành and Indian ambassador to Vietnam Pratish Saran have reported that the two countries' strategic partnership is thriving more than ever. They made the remarks during a joint interview to Vietnam News Agency correspondents in New Delhi on the occasion of India's Independence Day and Vietnam's National Day that fall on August and September respectively.
Ambassador Thành said the shared strategic interest created a firm foundation for the two countries to set up their strategic partnership in 2007 and facilitated the strong development of bilateral ties in numerous fields. He said high-level visits over the past years have helped strengthen political trust. Trade has also increased significantly to reach nearly $9 billion in 2014, up tenfold against that of 2007.
India's investment is expected to rise to $2.5 billion or even $4 to $5 billion in the near future through the implementation of several big projects of the Tata Group and others in Vietnam. Meanwhile, the two countries have also seen positive results in cooperation in security, defense, culture, education, science and technology.
Agreeing with Tang's assessment, the Indian diplomat expressed her belief that defense, security, political, economic and trade ties will thrive. She stated that, at present, cooperation potential between the two countries has yet to be fully tapped and suggested they open additional direct air routes, as the aviation linkage would contribute to promoting trade, tourism and people-to-people exchanges.
Vietnam is one of the strongest pillars of India's Act East policy. And you can see it very obviously by the fact that last year, when a new government was sworn in to India, in May last year, our Prime Ministers have met. Prime Minister Zung made a state visit to India in October, soon after the meetings with our Foreign Minister and our President's visit. And so high-level political exchanges have taken place.
In its Act East policy, India plans to boost cooperation in pharmaceuticals, garment textiles, agriculture, and farm produce processing with Vietnam, the ambassador added.
A senior UN official has urged Vietnam to increase its participation in the body's peacekeeping operations. He expressed his wish at a recent meeting with a delegation from the Vietnamese Defense Ministry in New York.
UN's Under-Secretary General Atu Khair pledged to cooperate tightly with Vietnam as well as other nations participating in the mission. In a separate meeting, Assistant Secretary General Edmund Molet praised the Vietnamese officers participating in the UN's peacekeeping mission. He highly valued the delegation's field visit to where the UN's peacekeeping forces are stationed, particularly in the Central African Republic, where 3 Vietnamese officers are garrisoned. The Assistant Secretary General noted Vietnam will need to prepare their troops to adapt to different environment and situations, ready to be deployed by the UN to any fields of operation. General Trần Văn Minh asked the UN to continue sharing experience on matters related to the deployment of troops. He affirmed Vietnam has been and will continue to prepare and contribute to the effort, fulfilling its responsibility as a UN member.
A photo exhibition on the relationship between the Laos and Vietnam Public Security Forces opened in Vientiane on August 14th to honor the 70th anniversary of the Vietnam People's Police Forces.
The exhibition is categorized into 8 subjects, featuring milestones in cooperation between the two countries' forces, such as photos of working visits and personnel training cooperation between the two sides. Colonel Van Hoang Namthachant, head of the Science and History Studies Department of the Laos Ministry of Public Security, said Vietnam's police force has aided the Laos Public Security Force since its early days in multifaceted areas, predominantly in personnel training. He went on to assert that the two forces have continued to implement cooperation and affiliation strategies to ensure political security and social order in each country. The event will run until August 21, 2015.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng recently approved a technical support project funded by the World Bank to have Vietnam improve its capacity in fighting climate change.
The project aims to support entrepreneurs and small and medium businesses in developing technical solutions and improving their business activities in the field of green growth through the establishment of an innovation center for climate change resilience. The Vietnam Climate Innovation Center is run by the Ministry of Science and Technology. It will map out a framework for private investment policy and increase the number of businesses and technological innovations in response to climate change. Vietnam is one of the countries most affected by climate change, with its Mekong Delta being one of the world's 3 most vulnerable regions to sea level rise. Under climate change scenarios, in late 21st century, Vietnam's yearly mean temperature will go up by 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. The total yearly and seasonal rainfall increase, while the rainfall in dry season will decrease.
The Vietnam National Oil and Gas Group, Petro-Vietnam, has started to pump the first flow of oil in Algeria after 12 years of exploration. More in the following.
Located in the Bir Seba oil field, the project has been jointly implemented by the Petro-Vietnam Exploration and Production Corporation and its counterparts from Thailand and Algeria. The exploited output is expected to reach 20,000 oil barrels per day in Phase 1 and double in Phase 2. The event indicated a breakthrough in Vietnam's oil and gas industry because this is the first time it has directly taken part in all stages of an overseas project, from exploration to oil commercial production. The project marked a milestone in economic cooperation between Vietnam and Algeria.
The State Bank of Vietnam recently requested commercial banks to strictly implement a government support credit lending program that aims to have farmers and businesses operating in agriculture minimize their post-harvest losses.
The program is being carried out under a Prime Minister decision on support policies to reduce post-harvest losses in agriculture. Accordingly, commercial banks were asked to provide information related to procedures and conditions for borrowers, facilitate their access to loans. The decision was issued as part of efforts to reduce post-harvest farm produce and aquatic product losses, contributing to promoting agricultural restructuring. Thanks to support policies, farmers have purchased machines and equipment serving production, processing and storing agroforestry and fishery products. A report by the State Bank of Vietnam showed that by July 30th, total lending capital in the program has reached $159 million with outstanding loans of $111 million, up 32% from December 31st last year.
Bình Dương province, one of industrial hubs in southern Vietnam, attracted over $1.2 billion in foreign direct investment from January to July this year, surpassing the yearly target of $1 billion.
During the period, the locality welcomed 119 new investment projects and increased the allocated capital to 79 existing ventures, according to the Provincial People's Committee. In July alone, the province lured $631 million in FDI, including 33 newly licensed projects worth $363 million, and 20 operations adding more $268 million. Bình Dương is currently ranked second across the country in foreign direct investment attraction.
A photo competition and exhibition entitled Discovering Vietnam was launched in Hanoi on August 14th. The event is one of the efforts to promote the country images and culture to the public both at home and abroad.
The contest encourages creativity in capturing popular destinations with 4 major topics, namely sea and island tourism, cultural and heritage tourism, ecotourism, and city tourism. Both local and foreign photographers are eligible for the competition, and each can submit a maximum of 5 single photos that have never been exhibited or won any prizes at national level competitions organized by the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism. Entry registration is open from August 14 to October 30th this year at the website khamphaavietnamphoto.vn, where other information about the contest can also be found.
The Central Province of Quảng Bình has announced a list of 34 tourism projects calling for investment from 2015 to 2020 with total capital of over $1.03 billion.
Among the projects, there are 6 with expected capital exceeding 1 trillion Vietnam dong or $45.4 million each. This included an entertainment park in Đồng Hới City, the Đá Nhảy Ba Trại Resort and Tourism Complex, an eco-tourism complex in Bố Trạch District, and a 36-hole golf course in Quảng Ninh District. The other projects will see a luxury resort in Đồng Hới City and a mineral water eco-tourism site project in Lệ Thủy District. The provincial authorities said, if successful, these projects will help boost the locality's socio-economic development. Quảng Bình is currently working to complete legal procedures to grant investment licenses to 28 projects totaling 28 trillion Vietnam dong, some $1.26 billion to both domestic and foreign businesses later this month.
Nhật Lệ Beach in the Central Province of Quảng Bình has been selected as one of the 10 most attractive beaches in Vietnam by the Vietnam Records Organization.
At a ceremony held on August 13th, the Provincial People's Committee also announced a decision on recognizing Nhật Lệ, Quang Phú, Bảo Ninh beaches as provincial-level tourism sites. The recognitions are expected to fully tap the locality's tourism potential, thus attracting more tourists to Quảng Bình. Located about 1 kilometer from Đồng Hới City, Nhật Lệ Beach boasts a romantic and untouched beauty with clear water and white sand bank. The site attracts numerous tourists who are fond of getting some fresh air, swimming in the sea, and enjoying seafood. Quảng Bình is well known for various natural attractions. Recently, the Vietnam Records Organization listed 4 tourism sites in the province amongst the top 50 must-see travel destinations in Vietnam, including the Phong Nha Cave, Ngang Pass, Nhật Lệ Beach, and Phong Nha Kẻ Bàng National Park. With the opening of the Sơn Đoan Cave in 2013, Quảng Bình was instantly catapulted onto the bucket list of travelers all around the world. Recently, the New York Times named Quảng Bình as one of the most attractive destinations in Asia and the world's 50 top must-go sites for 2014.
And that has wrapped up our news bulletin. Thanks for joining us and goodbye.